I'm a pistol packing papa, and when I walk down the street.
My name is Jim Gregg. I'd like to talk a little bit about my book on point shooting, handguns and shotguns. And the book itself actually is a training manual. Years ago, way back in 1969, I found the origin of skill in pointing handguns and shotguns. And since then, I've started my shooting school and have been teaching point shooting for the last 42 years. I spent about 28 years teaching it to the Border Patrol all over the country, and still do that, mostly now to civilians. But anyway, in order to be a good point shooter, you have to have two things. You have to learn to hold your weapon so it shoots where you point it, and we learn that by repetitions. And you also have to learn to fire the bullets to where they impact a circle, because proficiency is always measured as a diameter. Now, to do these two things and to learn them, it takes repetitions, as I mentioned, and then normally it takes about 30. So we get 10 repetitions, loading 5 rounds in the magazine to each time we fire. And if everything turns out the way it always has, you can do it in about, again, 3 boxes of shells. So today we have a brand new shooter to the handgun, and he worked out to about 3 boxes of shells, and he had it pretty well figured out. So today we'd like to show you what he went through and what I go through to teach point shooting to anybody that wants to learn it. So thank you for your attention, and I'll look forward to perhaps meeting some of you. But for now, we want to go ahead and get our shooter up here and do some shooting. Okay, let's start right here. See, here you go. I'm going to hold. Now I got to teach him two things. I got to teach him how to hold the gun so it's going to shoot where he points it. And the tolerance I like is within 2 inches of the mark. So if he's further than 2 inches of the mark, after he's been shooting for a while, and he keeps shooting like low, I have to reprogram, and in order to do that, I got to get up into his subconscious and fix it. Because he's going by the feel of the gun, because we're not using sights at all. So once you set your gun to the mark, to where it feels like it's on the mark for you, set it right on the mark. Okay, now hold it right there. Okay, now fire. Steady now, steady, fire, 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 fire. There you go. Did you feel the last bullet?
Yep, I did.
Okay. Now he had a change in the dimension of his cone of fire at the very last, but he should always feel the bullets before they leave the gun. And it's based on a relationship between the focal point of the eye relative to the point of where he's looking at the time the shot's fired. Now, conscious him does not pull the trigger, it's the subconscious. So when you first learn shooting, you teach it when you want it to pull the trigger. Okay, it's single action now. Set it to the mark. Now fire, 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 fire. Okay. Okay. Not too bad. We better get some more bullets here. Set it to the mark. Set it to the mark. Fire. Fire. Your eye's shifting, isn't it?
Yep.
Okay, now from the time you start to the time you finish, you got to keep your eye on the original mark. There you go. Okay, now set it to the mark. Fire. Oops. You lost it. Did you feel it?
Yep.
Okay. Okay, now you have to program that in. So I want you to tell yourself what you're going to do, and then you do it. You tell yourself what you're going to do, and then you do it. You tell yourself what you're going to do, and then you do it. But during the time after you've told yourself what you're going to do, don't change your mind. So what you're going to tell yourself is, from the time I start to the time I'm finished. I've got to keep my eye on the original mark.
Okay.
Okay. There you go. Okay, now do it. Set it to the mark. Fire. Okay, do you feel that one go down?
I did, yeah.
We got it. We got to reload these mags, guys. Okay, now tell yourself what you're going to do, and when you finish shooting, you should still be looking at that mark.
Okay.
Set it to the mark. Set it to mark. Now fire. There, it's a lot better. Here you go. There you go. Let's set it to the mark. Fire. That's it. Very, very good.
Oh, look at that.
I know it.
Not bad.
That looks like 5 touching, doesn't it? They're pretty close.
That's real close.
Here you go. Okay. Now put it to the mark. Steady she goes. Fire. Very good. Okay, put the mark. Steady. Fire. There, oops. Now what'd you do that time? Remember?
You got the sequence wrong. Let it go too low.
Oh, don't change it though. Don't change it. Once you start shooting, leave them all go low. Once you start doing that, you're down the hill. So if they go in the dirt, I'd let them go. All the shots would go in the same hole.
No matter what happens, keep looking at that. They might get back that.
Here you are. Okay, set it to the mark. Steady she goes. Fire. Ups. Okay. Okay. There you go. Okay, now go slow now. Don't go too fast. Fire. Okay. Fire. Very, very good. Do you feel the difference now?
Absolutely.
Okay. So from the time I start to the time I'm finished, I gotta keep my eye on the original mark. There we go. Okay, now set it to the mark. See the difference?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Go. Okay, now put it to the mark. Fire. Ups.
Ah.
You feel it?
Yeah.
Good. Another thing too on practice, say you're out alone and you're shooting, the longer you stand in one spot and shoot, probably the worse you're going to end up shooting, because you're going to start psyching the bullets. So the best thing to do is get out of this area. Walk out, stop, come back, stop, identify the target, draw, set your point of concentration, and shoot. But that period of time you're actually shooting, though, has to be done with an empty, conscious mind. It has to be that way. And if you know how to shoot, then the whole shoot sequence becomes totally subconscious. Here you are. You go ahead and set it. Fire. See the difference?
Yeah.
Big time. It's not easy. It's a real challenge. And I really believe that shooting is almost 100% mental after you've learned to shoot.
My fun. Just follow me and you will hear the barking of my gun. Doodly-dee-o, doodly-dee-o, doodly-dee.